What is going on, everybody? It is Aaron Cates and welcome back to the channel. Now today we're going to be installing an 8-piece RGB white rock light kit on the Ford. It is from MicTuning. It is the C1 rock light series. They're supposed to be stupid bright, supposed to be so much brighter than all the other just Amazon rock light brands. As you guys know, I have 16 white just Amazon no-name rock lights on my Chevy because, I mean, they're white. And I bought them all from the same company, so they're all the same temperature of white, and that's all that really mattered. But I have had Amazon RGB rock lights before, and I had those on that truck, and they weren't very bright at all. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how bright these are on the Ford today. But as you guys can tell, it is daylight. So it is 8 o'clock in the morning right now. We're gonna get all of them installed while it's daylight, while you guys can see everything. And then tonight we're gonna get some nighttime shots. I kind of want to show you my plan with where I'm gonna be putting these rock lights at. So my plan is to get one centered right here, get it centered over, kind of over top the coil spring, so you're not just lighting up the top of the tire. You're lighting up the tire and you're lighting up the coil spring, and then the light can disperse down to the ground. I want to put my second one kind of right in line with this door line, because that's about the center in between both tires, is right underneath there. And I want to try and angle it inward some, that way we can try and light up as most of the ground underneath as we can. Get a third light up underneath here, and again try and have it more farther on the inside so we can light up the leaf spring, the tire, and more of the ground. Now I do have the tailgate down, and you guys already know the bed of this truck is an absolute mess. Everything that I've been replacing and doing has all just gotten thrown back here, so I apologize for that. But then we're going to be doing the fourth one, kind of right in line with this hitch, but a little bit farther back. Maybe light up the rear diff cover on the rear axle, try and get some light underneath the center, and then do the same thing all the way down this side. You know, the 1, 2, and 3. And then right up here up front, I want to try and get one kind of right in the center and have it angled in a little bit to try and light up more of that axle. Rock lights has been a plan for me for this truck for some time now, because I want to get some paint underneath it. I would like to buy a paint gun, buy an air compressor, and pull these axles completely, wire wheel them, sand them down, and paint them. And RGB white was a big thing because I wanted to be able to run blue underneath this truck whenever it's parked at shows or up on a trailer, anything like that. I wanted blue to be a color I could light up underneath the truck. And I mean, the truck's blue. Almost everything on this truck is blue. So that was kind of a big thing to me, was to have blue. But I also wanted white, because when I have paint underneath it, I want the white to be able to light up the paint. And that's kind of why my placement has come into play with where these rock lights are going to be put, because I want to try and get as much light on everything as I can. In the future, I'll probably throw another 8-piece kit on this and angle my lights other places to light up more dead zones, but it all depends on where we have dead zones at today, because you won't know until it's nighttime. So let's go ahead and get this kit unboxed. I'll go off the bat and say that the box is probably one of my favorite parts, because any other rock light kit I've ever ordered, they just come in a little bag. You never actually get a box that is well put together and like this. This looks so much more professional, being that these were ordered off Amazon. Just completely blew me away. So go ahead and open it up. So we have our mounting hardware, and we're actually going to be using this. And then you have your guide, basically. Tells you what all is in the box, the app, which we'll be downloading in just a second. And we open this up, and this is where I was blown away, because like I said, most things you order off Amazon, they do not come in like this. We have our rock lights. Now let me go grab my old 4-piece kit, just so I can kind of show you a difference in size and what they're made out of. So we'll start off with the module itself. Not much of a difference. They're both hard plastic. This one has the QR code on the module itself. This one has the company name, MicTuning. Overall, like I said, I'm gonna trust this one because this right here is actually peeling up, and I can actually see inside it, so that means moisture is going to get in there, and this is going to fail. Let's get an actual look at one of the Amazon rock lights. Now, there still is self-tappers on them. Like I said, I used to use self-tappers. They're pretty close in the same size. This one's metal, this one's metal, this one has the company name all over it. This is just generic, just has some weird designs on it. No name on it whatsoever. These say MicTuning, they have their logo. Now the difference here is you have this little clear circle that has the 3 LEDs inside it. You've got a red, a green, and a blue. This one has this glass cover that's kind of, it's got like a texture to it where it's not just absolutely clear. And then it's got your 3 LEDs. The LEDs themselves are probably about 3 times the size. See how small those LEDs are in there? And we'll pull up this one. See how they're so much wider. They're not as narrow as these. Let's try and get a side-by-side comparison. There we go. There's a better comparison. These are like 3 times the size of the Amazon one. Okay, now that I've shown you guys the difference between just cheap, what almost everybody runs as their first rock light kit is off Amazon, eBay. These are just the cheapest ones you can find. That's the difference between MicTuning and those. Now, let's get our app downloaded. Okay, let's scan our QR code. Bring this into the App Store. MicTuning. So it says it's 4+ years old. It's got 40 ratings. It's got 2.3 stars. Probably not the best, but I guess we'll see for ourselves. Let's open it up. Okay. Shows you how to do everything. You have your Bluetooth, jump to the music window, brightness, strobe speed, flash, your color option, long click to select color, DIY settings, on and off, more settings, more settings, more settings. And we'll close that out. Okay, so this is pretty cool. You have your multiple light option right here. You can control multiple at the same time. And now if you had these all connected, you would come in here and you would turn it on or off, and then you turn your Bluetooth on or off right here. You can control your music, you can control your colors, your strobe speed, how bright they are, and then here you long click and you can select your colors. So whether you'd want white, blue, purple, dark blue, yellow, green, red. I don't know what black would look like, but I'm guessing this is a type of strobe. More strobing. What's in here? So you can do group control, multiple devices, save controllers. You can disconnect from it. So it looks like they're coming out with more things to control in the app. So you might have a light bar you can control. These kind of look like they might be like wheel lights or just some type of LED strips. These look like interior lights, and then some type of work light. That'd be really cool if they came out with that, because if I don't have anything like that that you can control off your phone, so if they came out with something like that, that would be a lot cooler. But you've got all your colors all the way around. Brightness. It's kind of like any normal app. Let me show you what the app looks like for the Amazon rock lights. I don't think it's going to connect to anything because I don't have anything there, but this is what you get for Amazon rock lights. You just get these little select colors that you can do, and that's about it. There's no color wheel. You have your brightness again. You have your strobe, things like that, but you don't have a color wheel. There's not a lot of customization. There's no home screen. like there was for MicTuning. So you have your color wheel with MicTuning, and then you have your customization down here, but also you have a home screen, and you have group functions where you can control other things at the same time. And I don't know if it's bleed dim or BLE dim, anything like that. You don't have that here. You just have your on and off feature, you have your Bluetooth, and that's about all. You don't get any customization. Now these are things that I made when I had those rock lights. I did police lights because you can long click it and do that and change it, but that's about it. There's no group control, there's no controlling multiple ones at the same time like MicTuning gives you that option. But now we're gonna have to get these rock lights in. So let's finish getting these all out. I'm gonna hook them up to the battery, all 4 of them, try and turn them on and see how well they work before I go hooking them all up. Okay everybody, we're underneath the driver's side of the truck, and I wanted to show you a bracket I just made for the rock lights. So I know I said I wasn't going to be using self-tappers, and I don't know if you can tell, but right here is a self-tapper, because I can't get a bolt and nut through this. I can get the bolt through it, but I can't get a nut on the other side. So in order to get this to point down the way I want it to and not have it held in by 2 self-tappers, I took a 90-degree bracket that I had left over from my wheel lights. I self-tapped it in at an angle like this, and then I used the 2 bolts to mount the rock light to the bracket. So now we have it angled down underneath the truck the way I wanted it to go. I'm going to show you how I made this bracket, but I wanted to show you the finished product of it before I showed you how to make it. Okay, so we have our 90-degree L bracket. The other one we had to bend to about 40 degrees. So all you want to do is bend it down like that. And once it's on the truck, you could bend it a little bit more to fit however you need it to. And then I put it on the side, got my self-tapper, and I just drilled a hole in the center of it. But first we're going to make a little indentation mark so our self-tapper doesn't slip off. Okay, now we have our hole drilled. The self-tapper is going to be going in from the other way. Damn. So I'm going to waller this hole out. That way it doesn't fight us going through the other way. Now you just want to get one of your rubber gaskets for your rock light. Just set it on and mark your holes. We have 1 hole marked. Nothing wants to sit straight up on this tailgate. Okay, now that you have your 2 holes marked, you just want to drill straight through. And after I drill my first hole, I like to make sure that I'm still lined up with the second hole. And that's exactly why I do it, because we moved over just a hair. So let's go through and remark our second hole. The drill bit slides real easy. I don't have a vise, so I'm just using a wood block just to drill on. Alright, so now we will go underneath the truck, we'll drill our hole and get our bracket all mounted up. Oh, I forgot to cut the zip tie right here. I'll cut that up in a second. We have our module mounted to this, just probably like a heat shield or something for the bed. I don't really know what it is, but it worked. And then we've got our bunch of wires all zip tied together and zip tied up to the bottom of the cab. Now, this doesn't look the best. It's not visible from the outside of the truck. If I could get something to go over it, probably looked a lot better, but for the most part, this is what it's going to be. Now, you guys saw the bracket. This is our wire coming from the front one all the way down. You can see our power wire come out right there. That is the only spot that red wire is visible. And I mean, it sucks that it's visible right there, but it was either come out there or run next to the long tubes. And I figured it would probably would have a less chance of melting right there. And then this is from our rock light right there. I don't know if you guys can see or not. That black wire right there comes from that back rock light right there. It comes down, runs down the frame rail, comes up over the top of the gas tank. It meets up with the back fender well right about here on the other side of the gas tank. They both come together, then they meet up with our one on the bracket over there, our fender well one over there, and our very front one. The very front one I ran across the frame rail over here, down the frame rail, and over top of this. I probably would have had more room if I would have came this way. I didn't think about it at the time, but ended up working out. Now everything is all together. You guys saw how I wired it. There's no visible wires unless you get underneath the truck, of course, but just from the outside of the truck, there's no visible wires. And now we basically just have to turn it on. Okay, as you guys can tell, it is dark outside. I came out like 30-40 minutes ago to look at the lights, and I'm glad I did. I had messed up one of the plugs on one of the lights, and one of them was not working. Reconnected the plug, got it just together the right way, and we're back working. They have arrows, and the arrow wasn't completely lined up right. I had kind of just forced it together without knowing I forced it together, if that makes any sense, and it just wasn't plugged in the right way. Got the arrows lined up, everything worked out. Now this light right here behind me is going to be a problem. We're going to have to wait for it to go away. Works well for lighting right here, but it's not going to work well for showing off lights underneath the truck. So I'm going to have to put you guys down until that goes out. Let's open up our MicTuning app. I'm not going to do a screen recording this time. I don't feel like it. And, oh, let's turn the light on. Okay, well, that is not the actual color that it is right there. Real life, that's blue. I don't know why that looks purple, but real life, that is blue, and it is stupid bright. For this being an 8-piece kit, I'm absolutely blown away. Now, the one thing I do have to say is, my camera will focus, the white it preloads is this right here. This is the white that the app says is white, and it's more of a warm white. On camera, it looks super white, but let's see if I can get my camera to focus on this. Okay, well, it's not showing up, but this is the white I found. I just went right underneath blue, or right above blue, right in between blue and white, and this is the white I came up with. Now this is a lot more white in person. This is more of a cool white, and the white they say is white is more of a warm white, but I'm blown away with how bright these are. Let's do color changing so you guys can see all the colors. For there only being one light in this fender well, the fenders are stupid bright. I would definitely think there was more lights than just that. Truck's behind me, you guys can still see the rock lights. this was probably, I think, my 7th set of rock lights I've installed. I've done, I think, 3 or 4 on the Chevy. I've done a couple on other people's vehicles, and I've gotten better each time. It's all in the angle and the placement of the light. So the brackets I made was to push the light underneath the truck. If you guys see any pictures of trucks on like Instagram or anything like that where you just see a spotlight on the ground, that's because the rock light is just facing straight down. And when you don't have a truck on 40s, when your truck's on like 33s or stock and you have a rock light facing straight down, that's when you're gonna get that beam. I can have my rock lights face straight down and not get too much of a beam, but if I were to have put the rock lights in the middle of the cab where I put them and face them straight down, I wouldn't have all that light in the center of the truck. I would have a dead zone in the center of the truck, where, and a dead zone is a shadow or darkness, kind of like a dead zone. That's where there's no light at. And that's why I made those brackets, to angle that light towards the center of the truck where both lights could meet and fill the area underneath the truck to make it look like it had more than just 8 rock lights. And it worked. But I am definitely blown away with how bright these lights are. I was not expecting that. I was going to give you guys a comparison between the Amazon rock lights, just cheap, no name, versus these, but I'm sorry, I am not getting torn up by mosquitoes some more. Like, I was out there less than 5 minutes and I got bit probably 40 times. Like, that was ridiculous. So I apologize. You guys didn't get a comparison, but you guys got to see how bright they are. There will be a Amazon link top of the description down below. I'll have C1 MicTuning rock lights above it. Click that link, go pick up a set. You won't regret it, I promise you. Now, there are C2 rock lights. I went with these because they were cheaper and I wasn't really sure if they were going to be really bright or not, and I figured I'd rather spend $130 versus 100. I think the C2s are like 160 or 170, I don't remember, but I didn't want to spend a lot of money and not know how bright they were. But I'm absolutely blown away. So I might pick up a set of the C2s for the Chevy. I don't know yet, because I kind of want to get RGB whites for the Chevy now that I know how actually white this is, because I want to be able to run all purple underneath. So maybe we'll see some C2s on the Chevy and see how bright they are in comparison to these. We'll park both trucks side by side and see which one's brighter. So I want to thank you all for watching. If you like this video, go down, drop a like. I've really enjoyed making this video. I really enjoy things like this. So hopefully you guys feel the same way. Drop a comment down below if you think I should get the C2s for the Chevy, or what type of rock lights you recommend. And if you haven't already, go down and hit that subscribe button. Make sure before you go check out any other videos, you click that link and go pick up a set of MicTuning rock lights. I absolutely love them. Now that that light's shut off, you can see just how bright they are. So I will catch you guys in the next one. See ya.